Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live segment, man. Just coming off of Windup. We got to talk about it. Still feeling the buzz, still feeling the hype, still feeling the adrenaline and everything else that goes with going to one of these shows and having a good time partaking. And I appreciate everybody in chat. When I was live at Windup, you guys were phenomenal. You guys said every time he mentions brew, we're going to take a shot. That's great. Hopefully it was a shot of coffee. Um, had a great time. I have nothing but good things to say. Listen, you also have to put everything in perspective. Yes, this is a humongous show in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the world, and they're orchestrating thousands of New Yorkers and out of country people coming in. There's a lot of moving parts, right? There's the brands, there's the enthusiasts, there's the staff, there's the hired staff, there's the entertainment, there's the scheduling. There's a lot. So you have to give credit where credit is due, despite your expectations of what the show really actually should be. But what they delivered was phenomenal. 10 years. I hope nothing but the best. I hope Windup has another 10 years. Thank you guys for all of the comment and support and the live stream that I did at Windup. That was a really good time. Listen, these live streams led up to that moment, right? I was prepared and super excited. I think you guys can feel that energy even through the camera and everything else. So who do we have in chat? And again, guys, I apologize. I had to charge up my mic. I was not prepared. Christopher White is in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? Raymond Nunez, as usual, in the building. Lone Ranger says, hi, Hole Silva, man. It was good to see you at the show. You were online with me, and you stayed with me for a little bit, but we got lost in the mix after. I hope you enjoyed the show like I did, and that was the day my brother came with me, so you got to meet him as well. He said you were a phenomenal dude. Who else do we have in here? Nerd with Swag is in the building. How are you doing, sir? So let's talk about. We're going to talk about Windup. We're going to talk about a few things that I've been up to. I'm going to address the first thing that probably most of you are curious on. I alluded to it in the last video, but I didn't buy any watches, believe it or not. I didn't buy, which is crazy because I definitely planned to purchase watches when I was at the show. But I'll tell you what really happened. I went to the first day on Friday with my brother, and I live vicariously through him. It was his first show. That's a crazy show to go to for your first show, but it was his first show. And he had such a phenomenal time. He picked up 2 watches. It was nice to go to the tables. And look, I want to mention today a lot of the brands that I didn't get to capture on camera. Maybe I went by the table, but I definitely attempted to go to more. It's just, it is what it is. My recommendation to you for this show is to really narrow down whom you want to speak to the most, because you're not talking to everybody. You're not even talking to a majority. You're going to talk to a lot less people than you think, because there's a lot going on and people are going to be by the tables and everything else. So you can do your best, just as me trying to tackle it as a content creator and trying to hit as many tables. It just wasn't possible, even with the press pass. So one thing that I'm going to do that I recommend that you do as well is, if you plan to attend the show, definitely circle, because on the website, which we're going to look at, they show you all the names that are going to be there. Circle the ones that you want, print that out, circle the ones you really want to talk to so you don't forget, because that's what happens. You forget. You know how many I wore a squale to one of the days to the show and I forgot to go to the squale table. It's that serious. So you definitely got to plan it out. But I did mention a lot of names when I was at the show when I wasn't recording, and I brought my brother over to the table. So you guys are talking in chat. Let me see what's going on. Skylar speaks to the truth, to be honest. Brand owners want to have conversations and don't mind wasting time like that, but we all have a finite amount. Yeah, and even with it being, because when you look at it, you're absolutely right, Matt. When you look at it, it's like, okay, 3 days for 5 or 6 hours. That's a lot of time, right? Yo, that time goes by super fast. So, you really have to plan it out and map it out and everything else. So I had a great time. I was there Friday and Saturday. Great seeing you and your brother. The crowd was crazy. Yeah, definitely. Crazier was the line outside to get in. And that was the thing, man. And here's the deal. You're going to hear that a lot. And some people were a little put off by it, but it's part of the story itself. It's part of the deal. And the only way around it is to show up early. I recommend at least an hour early. If you end up at the show an hour early, you're still going to be online and you're not going to be the first person. I know that's a tall order sometimes because there's a lot of moving parts going to the city in general, especially depending on where you're coming from, if you're traveling and everything else. But my recommendation would be go an hour early, bring a friend that you can chat with online, you don't mind, sitting online with and everything else. And yeah, man, try your best. But here, what I'm hoping for, and I know that Worn and Wound is toying with the idea of a bigger boat. They're seeing the growth. They're seeing how big the show really is. They do their best to manage everything. There are fire codes, so there has to be some kind of regulation. Let's not forget the show is free with no registration and no tickets. But they are aware possibly that they're going to need a bigger boat, and I'm sure they're going to be working. No promises, of course, but I'm sure they're going to work on that. So yes, the lines were the lines. The line was wrapping again around a full Manhattan block. The line almost came all the way, so if the show was here, the line went to the side all the way down a Manhattan Avenue block, wrapping back. It was insane. It was crazy. And I kind of expected it after going to it last year. So it is what it is, Wow, I'm so lost in chat already. Hold on. Who is the best brand at the show? The best watch at the show? There is no such thing, man. For me, I can't say what the person. I can't say the brand in the watch is the best watch, and that's my recommendation for everybody to get. But if you're asking just my opinion alone, and it's relative to where I am in watch collecting, right? I was super excited to talk to Accutron, and I'll be honest with you, after finding out the technology, and again, if I was just starting watch collecting, I would not be anywhere near this. I think that you need to mature into being ready for that electro technology inside of that watch for sure, man. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys a hot take. I think that watch, one of the either the Space View, I'm not sure which model yet. I'm still doing my research, but guys, in my gut feeling, I can tell you right now, I think that that's going to be a new grail. I think that bumped out the Bel Canto even. Yeah. In fact, I'm not going to say I think. I know it is. As much as I love the Bel Canto and what it meant for independent brands and micro brands, it was a big moment, right? But I'll tell you what, man, I don't think it's as interesting, in my opinion, of course, as that new technology that they have, that they developed, that they pretty much are perfecting. It's insanity. It's insanity. I recommend you learn more about it. We talked about it a little bit at the show with Richard, but that would be my most that's my biggest pick, the Accutron Space View. Yeah. Class is in session, absolutely. Hold on, let me try to get jump on chat. I saw you wore the Lego watch that weekend. No, I didn't wear no Lego watch. That sounds like a cool watch, though. That sounds like a cool watch. Oh, you wore the Lego watch. You wore the Lego watch that weekend. I didn't catch it, man. I wish I would have. You should have stuck it in my face, pause. We want your opinion. No, I hear you. But I also want to add to the fact that, because look, I get that. I understand on the other side of the screen, if I say something, I want to be responsible with what I say, and I want to give you guys perspective. Like, that watch to me is the most exciting thing. I'm not saying that is the general consensus across the board for the entire show, but I understand you want to hear my opinion. Of course, that's why you're here, right? Yeah, of course you're wearing your vintage JJ Loco. Very nice, from the 60s. Nice pink gold case I recently acquired. In fact, congratulations. Ben 10 news. Let me scroll back up, see if I can catch up so I didn't miss anything on chat. I read that. Ben, the Rolex Final Boss 10. Yeah, right? Larger conventions have had poor crowd control. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, the crowd control, the flow. I mentioned multiple times that the flow of traffic was massively improved, in my opinion. They also opened up a overflow section, which is where Erebus, Dufresne, Eugene, that's where so that's the crazy part, dude. I still have, from my Call of Duty days, once I'm in an area, I can map out and I could draw you a map of the whole show. It's just in my brain. But they did a very good job. Friday was a little bit jammed because of the Manhattan watch from Studio Underdog and Fears. But even with that, I still, in my opinion, did a very good job. I read that. Let me scroll up. Yep, I said hi to Ben 10. Jose Medina is in the building. You love the brew strap. You're getting ahead of me, bro. You're putting the cart in front of the horse. So, guys, here's the deal. I mentioned brew a lot, I know. And I'm going to mention brew a lot. Here's how phenomenal Jonathan is. I don't think I gave you guys this story in my content. I'm online with my brother, right? We're online. We're sitting there. We were down the block, so we eventually got like up to the front where you're just about to go in. I want to say we were maybe like 50 feet away from the door. So Jonathan walks out. I think that he was getting ready to shoot content of the line because a lot of people like to get that shot just to show how many people were attending and everything else. So he runs out. He's about to take his shot of the line. He sees me, throws the biggest smile in the world, runs over to me. Hey, Skylar, so happy you came. So happy to see you. Can't wait to see you inside. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. You know, I can't wait to talk to you guys. Da 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 da. Walks away, right, to do his thing. I said, go do your thing. I know you gotta. So my brother's like, yo, that's your boy? Who's that? I'm like, nah, that's the owner. I mean, he's my boy. Like, I consider him family, but I'm like, nah, that's the owner of Brew. He's like, what? He's like, he got that excited? I'm like, yo, he's just a down-to-earth dude. Just a good guy. He's just a good guy. I only a real convo with the brand owner. I can't wait. Say it again. Read it again. Only real convo I had was with a brand owner I can't even afford. Yo, and I resonate with you because I felt the way with Accutron. Listen, I can't afford an Accutron. We're talking $3,000 to $4,000 hairs. So it's gonna be a minute. That's something. Well, that's why it's like my definition of grill watch is something that you can obtain, but it's not easily. You can't decide to buy that today, right? It's something you have to save up for and responsibly. Could I buy that watch today, cash? I could. I don't say that to impress you, but responsibly to have my checkings. See the way my bank account is set for my checkings and my savings. I got to move the savings to the checkings and the checkings, and it takes 3 days. You know what I mean? So, but it's definitely on my radar for the Grail. And as I learn more about the watch, the more excited I am for it. But yeah, the Brew strap, we're gonna take a look at it, and I'll tell you what. After I put this Brew strap on, and I think this was the only thing that I bought. Yeah, this is the only thing that I bought at Windup. I wore this watch like 3 days consecutively. Like it was a game changer for this watch. It was already phenomenal for sure. I think I caught up. I had a great time. Say seeing you. Yes, I read that. I read that. All right, so let me scroll back down on chat and let's get this party started. Hang on, let me full screen this. Full screen this. Oh, hang on. It's been a little while. You gotta give me a second here. Why is that not working? Okay, that's why. Okay, cool. You guys can still hear me. Let's take a gander, shall we? So this is the website that I refer to. I'm gonna have this up while I'm talking about different brands. You got to scroll down. These are the main what do you call that? Sponsors of the show. When you scroll down to this section, you see a full brand roster. So that's where you got to go to navigate. The link is in the description. This is one of the names already that I can tell you, Clements. I'm so mad that I didn't get to talk to. I think the gentleman's name is Tom, but we'll get to that. Let's since we already unearthed the fact that I got the Brew strap, let's take a look at it. So this was the one that he just came out with for a his metric retro, the teal suede strap. Yeah, it's just I love it, man. You guys probably saw the photos in my posts, but it's a game changer. If you own the watch, the metric retro, I highly suggest you get this strap. It's just and I own the teal rubber strap, and it's just so different either way. And I don't know the type of vibe I can describe it gives. I want to just say fun. I want to just say fun. Let's just say that. So let me go back. And I want to catch you guys up on a couple of other things. So, you guys know my Seiko turtle. We'll go back to micro brand talk. My Seiko turtle, right? The king. I've been working on that, man, and I got a fantastic strap. Check that out, man. Check out that clasp. Does that not look turtley enough for the Turtle Club? It's solely the reason, and this was a strap code that I got it from. Don't buy your strap. Don't buy the bracelet for this watch on AliExpress. I tried that, and the lugs just didn't match up. I couldn't get it to fall into the lug hole. You know how AliExpress is dicey on this one, and it was supposed to be specifically for the turtle. And I even took it to a watchmaker, and he's like, dude, I don't know what's up with this bracelet because it lines up, it's flush, but the lug holes just don't go. So I got this one from Strap Code. I think it just leans into that turtle type of vibe altogether. Let's see if I get the light on it. That's dope. No, tell me that don't look like a turtle shell, bro. I love it. Yo, so this thing's complete, man. This thing is complete. No micro, no quick release, no micro adjust, none of that stuff, you know. But hey, I customized the dial. You guys seen this watch already. I put the cathedral hands on there. I took off the Cyclops. I put a ceramic green bezel on there. If you want to get a better shot of this, go to my posts. I'm pretty sure I have it up on there. But this thing is complete, man. And it's a big watch. It's a big book. And I'm mad that I didn't get it sooner, man. For everybody who's out there who's like, man, the SKX 007009, what happened to the certified diving meters and the this and the that, and that has hacking and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, go for that. And there's other suggestions. We'll get into that. What are you guys saying on chat? Anything towards me? Let's see. Yeah, Maurice Lacroix. So shout out to Blake. So I saw Blake. I saw Red. I saw Wrist Chick. I think those were Kieran. I bumped into Kieran, top tier ticker. You guys know him. I should have did a video with Kieran. He's a cool dude. He's tall, 6 something. Yeah, we were almost eye level. And he's a cool cat, man. He's just very calm, collective. We chatted a couple times. Who else did I see at the show? And shout out to the people who came up to me and said, hey man, I watch your channel, man. That was super dope. I always love that. So for anyone who saw me at the show but didn't want to interrupt my flow, I get it. I respect it. I understand it. I probably would feel the same way. However, I do want you to interrupt me. Even if I'm doing a live stream, even if I'm doing a recording, you know, obviously if I'm talking to a brand owner in the middle of conversation, that's not what I'm talking about. But if I'm doing my live stream or if I'm doing anything else, man, come up to me, say that you support the channel. This is what it's all about. Otherwise, these things are just trinkets on our arms. Guys, I watch collect because I could do things like this. I'm on YouTube because I can connect to other nerds. It's what it's all about. So if you support the channel, especially if you're liking and hyping, why would I not want to say hi to you? Why would I not want to see you? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, say hi. So anybody who came up to me and anybody who recognized me, big shout out to you guys. And everybody watching the footage from Windup too, man. That's super cool. I do appreciate you guys. What's the size? Bro. Jose, I need you to give me the full question because I go a million miles of a fire strap. Oh, it's a 22 millimeter if you're talking about the strap. It's a 22 millimeter. It's for the King Turtle. I think that's what taking a hiatus from micro brand collecting. They steal my money from luxury stuff. It'd be like that, bro. It almost feels like you have to choose, you know? Because you're like, all right, let me pick up a Vario. Let's use him as an example because I know you picked that up, Ben. Let me pick up a Vario. That's a snacker. And then you come across 15 other watches that are like it. And then you're like, hold up. I just spent what I could have spent. So I get it, bro. I get it. I just appreciate you diving and dipping and fixing the brew. You know what I mean? Micros are the perfect middle sector, but they are not slick. Are the perfect middle sector, but they are not slick. I'm not sure what you mean, but I sure you mean something. All right, I got to go back down. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up on chat. Where we at? Trap Vision's in the building. Where he's at? Nervous Swag says Trap Vision 3D is in. Wristful Ignorance with the it feels so good to be able to do the super chats. I was at Windup. I saw the super chats, but I'm like, yo, if I do a super chat like this, I'm not getting a press pass next year. Super chat from Wristful Ignorance. Yes, dude. Appreciate you, bro. You're a real one for sure, bro. I appreciate all the comments, the hype that you did to the videos, bro. I really don't know how else I could get a better supporter. I mean, all you guys in chat for sure, bro, but always commenting, always hyping, always liking, always sharing other videos that are relative to my knowledge and everything else. Trap Vision 3D is in the building. I seen Skylar recording, dude. Trap was right. You were tall as yeah, dude. People get a little shell shocked because this camera angle doesn't do you justice, man. I could be anywhere between 5 feet to 6'4". Trap actually surprised me too when I saw him in person. I was like, dude, you 6 foot tall. It's funny like that. The Wrist Chick is in the building. She is one of the people that I met, and her lovely counterpart, Mr. Red. Fantastic live stream at the show. I think she learned a lot from the first one, but I'll tell you what, you did a phenomenal. You can't be so hard on yourself. We talked off camera, and you know, it's always worse in your mind than it actually comes through on camera. You did a good job. Wi-Fi is the key. The first thing when I touched down in the building, I'm like, y'all got Wi-Fi? Not drinks, not water. I don't even care. If you don't have Wi-Fi at a show, I'm doomed. Because so many people, listen, realize this to Red and Rich Chick. Like, you know how much people appreciate, it doesn't matter the quality. You know, what matters more is your enthusiasm and you attempting and everything else. Because there's so many people that can't attend the show for whatever reason. And they just really appreciate that. So shout out to you guys for ripping that Band-Aid off. Rich Chick with the super chat. Appreciate you. I got lightheaded. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. My eyesight's fuzzy. The super chat. Nice to meet you at one. It was nice to meet you as well. And it was nice to meet Red as well. Yo, Red took his watch off and he let it was an Omega. It was an Omega Seamaster, I believe. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I think I spun the bezel on it and everything else. Yo, don't. If somebody lets you see their watch, don't wind the watch. Don't unlock the crown. Don't mess with the everything exterior is fair game, but don't touch the crown unless they specifically ask you to do so. All right, I think I'm caught up on chat. I don't even remember where I was gonna go next. You like that? Super chat. Sometimes I have like a little tick afterwards. You never know when I might hit you with the super. Appreciate you guys. I really do. Did I miss anything in between? Spectre Control, another real one, man. YouTube changed my display name. Yeah, I'm noticing that Spectre Control. Like a lot of people are coming in as a little different, but you know, little glitch in the matrix. You know, the show must go on, as they say. I'm 5'9.5" with Jordans on. Yo, that's fine, bro. That's fine. That's tall enough. Listen, being 6 foot over 6 feet is not what it's all cracked up to be. You get a lot of back pains. You hit a lot of your forehead on stuff, especially when you're at these watch shows and you're just hunched over the whole time. I'll tell you what, man. I was sitting on a bicicleta outside of Windup after the show because my back hurt so much. It doesn't help that I'm becoming an old man. And when I say that, I just mean that my 20s are gone. But yeah, I felt it. I felt it for sure. I would have interrupted you, but I was very tired and very intoxicated. I would want you to interrupt me even more. You know how phenomenal that would have been? Anyway, getting back on track, I wanted to show you guys that strap from there. And I also wanted to show you another watch, my BLP, better known as Boulevard Lunar Pilot. Islander, man. Islander has a strap for that. Now, you have to be very specific on the strap that you get for this because he made a bracelet for the BLP. If you didn't get the BLP with the bracelet, now they had a butterfly clasp. That's a no-no for most people. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have micro adjust or like the half links on it. So you probably want to do away with that even if you have it. So I want to give another highlight to Islander watch and the bracelets that I have. Now, I know this is not new news, but he made a bracelet specifically for the models that you may have, and you have to pay attention to the finer details. So just to explain to you guys, I didn't receive this in yet. I will receive it. That's the 106. I believe I got the, here we go. Yeah, the 107. Here we go. So the 107 for a 45 millimeter. Oh, let me blow this up. Hold on. I think it's like this. So if you want to get a bracelet for the BLP, Islander Mark has zeroed in on this. Again, this is not new news, but I want to give you guys this because I will have this in. I'll tell you how it feels and how it really works. But you have to be very specific on the model that you have in order to get this bracelet. So he says here, this will not fit a 45 millimeter blasted Lunar Pilot, which mine is blasted. So maybe I think that, you know, the one I'm looking at is going to work for it. But no, it has to be specifically the one that is blasted and the one that came with a strap. I'm trying to look for it. Originally came with a mounted, originally came with a mounted bracelet, right? So this will not fit the one that came with an original bracelet. This is meant for one that came with the strap specifically. So if you're looking for a strap for your BLP, which I was a bracelet, excuse me, for your BLP, Yeah, man, I had to support Island Watch for sure. Islander Watch. I think I even said it wrong in the video, but you guys know what I mean, right? That was the Seiko Turtle bracelet. Fantastic. So moving on. Oh, I showed you guys the teal. Yes. Uh, the watch pair. So, okay. Let's see. Who did I miss that I would have really saw? You saw me do Abington. I gave you guys the scoop on Accutron. You guys know the watch that I'm talking about, I'm sure. So just real quick, just so you guys know how this website works, it's phenomenal, right? So you can see all the brands that were at Windup if you are interested. This is the model that I'm talking about. But look, if you want to go straight to the website, you click that little squiggly line-ish thing, and that'll bring you to their website. So any brand that was attending the actual show, how do I click this off? That was attending the actual show and you want to see more of their watches, you can go directly to their website, social media, blase. Here's the space view. This has more of that classical kind of design to the tuning fork, at least in the color aspect and kind of how it's not skeletonized, but you could see into it, right? Yeah, man, this was the most interesting for me. And as you guys can see, it's not cheap, right? It's not a cheap watch, and nor should it be, right? New technology, electrostatic power. It gets powered by the movement of your wrist, but not only the movement of your wrist, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody gives you a high five on your right arm and you're wearing the watch on your left wrist, that energy will transfer into the watch. See, into the watch itself and power the watch. So the watch is just waiting to receive energy, and those things are generated here, right at the turbines at the bottom here. I believe this has to do with powering the second hand alone. This is where the power is. I believe the power is stored here and then dispersed and regulated here. Again, I'm very new to this, so if I'm getting this all wrong, I do apologize. But the idea is that the watch is waiting for you to power it, and it's powered through all types of energy, including taps and vibrations and everything else. So I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. The power saving mode, air quotes, after a minute of not wearing it, it'll stop at the 12 o'clock position, right? And then wait for you to power it again. But guys, look, I don't want to sit here and try to explain the watch when I don't really understand it completely. I recommend you guys, and I'll leave a link to a video where Richard explains this way better than I ever will be at this point. But it's so fascinating, right? It's like there's no movement out there that is like this. And the incredible amount of accuracy, the incredible amount of power storage that this watch is capable of actually doing is phenomenal, right? We're talking about a 98% power retention for when it goes to a power saving mode and it waits for you, right? All of the technology they use to reduce friction amongst all the parts. So a lot of people say, well, this is a quartz watch, right? Well, there's a lot of mechanical aspects into this movement as well. So yes and no, but it's really, as he mentioned it, a orange and an apple world. So in order for you to really relate and understand that, you have to really listen to him go through it. So I recommend that. And that was my biggest takeaway from the entire show, and that was Accutron. And it is my grill watch moving forward. Alpina, I'm mad that I didn't go to as well. I didn't stop by there. I did see Analog Shift. Abington, you guys know that I stopped over there. Bale Blue, Bo Blue, I believe it's pronounced. I didn't stop there because I did get them the year before, but they make phenomenal watches. A lot of you are familiar with exactly what I'm talking about, but specifically, I'm talking about this. That floating secondhand is phenomenal. I do want to add this to my collection somewhere down there. I'm not in a rush, but I think that that's just super, super unique in the world of watches that are not as unique anymore, right? And listen, that's not to say anything negative. I think that's just where I'm at in watch collecting. I think that what I'm searching for now, and not exclusively, because I will be adding other things to my collection in the meantime. Sega design was something my brother was impressed by, and I didn't talk about them. I didn't show their watches, so I want to bring them up too. Wow, you guys know all this. You guys know this guy. He was fascinated and he wanted to go over to the table. We did check this out. I think he was a little put off by the price at that point, but he thought this was super dope. I thought this Galaxy type of black hole watch was also very interesting. I saw it in the metal. It is very nice. It is very nice. Not for me, not for my collection. I can still appreciate a watch without having to add everything to it. I was so mad I didn't go to Clements, man. I'm really kicking myself because Tom has a fun. This watch right here, I've shown it on the channel before. Where is it? It was just there. This one on the very far right. I clicked into it and another watch came up. View the full collection. Sure. Let's see if I could pull it up. It just aesthetically, right? Like I don't remember or recall too many things about the watch in depth, but I just really like it aesthetically. I could say that. This is the watch I'm talking about. I struggled to get a picture, but this is the watch I'm talking about. So I'm mad that I didn't go to the table and learn more because that's really what it's all about. Connect to the brand. And he was at the Watch Crunch um after hour type of thing, cocktail hour that we did. D1 Milano, he did grab this. I showed you guys the video. This is actually the watch that he grabbed. I think he grabbed one of the last ones as well. Just trying to see any brands that really shout out to me. Dufresne, you guys know I talked to him. I probably would have went to Dux. Where I'm mad I didn't go to Doxa, because I've experienced uh the Squale, and looking at the history, them making watch cases for Doxa, Tag Heuer, Blancpain, just to name a couple of names, just having that brand history and experiencing it. I do want this classic watch from Doxa, which is their classic orange. I don't need the sub 750T. I'd be okay with the sub 200, which I believe is the quote unquote entry level. But yeah, man, I like this orange color. It pops. I'm mad that I didn't go by that table as well. They were pretty mobbed up. If I didn't visit a brand, it was because they were mobbed up. You guys know that I talk about this brand all the time, Erebus. You guys know that I really am a big fan of Erebus and everything else. We had a nice chat with Steven, and I got a chat with Jody on the live stream. Just phenomenal guys, man. I really like what they're doing for the brand. I really like how they're evolving, man, how they're coming to market and brave enough to come out with a bigger watch. We've looked at this, so we're not going to spend too much time because I've gone over this brand multiple times. But if you shop and we look for the Titan, I believe it's called, Ascent, where is it? Those are the origins. Shop all Titan. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this. And you guys saw in the video, I'm sure, with Kieran having his chat with Jody, I think he said this is one of his favorite. This is his favorite Erebus to date so far. So I'm actually excited to see this too in the metal. I think Steven said he's sending me this watch with a couple of other ones with their GMT as well. I hope that happens because I do want to see this watch in the metal, and I do like everything that they're doing. And just like how I just like how I gave you guys the look into Venetianico, I think that Erebus is the brand to watch. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to give you guys my recommendations for starting with watch collecting. Like, if you're new to watch collecting and you happen to come across this, man, Erebus is 100% a value monster. In fact, you might be getting and acquiring, like if you acquire any of his Ascents, you might be getting watches that you were not even prepared for, getting quick release and on the fly and all that stuff at once. Islander, you guys know. Haraj put on a good show as far as their technology goes in their regulating an exterior regulation for their caliber, right? So not having to open up to movement to be able to regulate the plus minus to your watch itself. So if you guys don't know much about that, I would do some research on this brand itself. Again, I don't know in depth. I did sit down for the panel. In fact, I asked a couple of questions. So I do know a couple of things about the technology. So if your watch is not running, it's running off on the plus or minus, like let's say it went from minus 10 seconds a day to minus 30 seconds a day, you can actually regulate the movement from the outside of the watch. I'm kind of looking for it as I'm going through here. And that's new technology that they have. They're working on patenting and everything else. So I thought that was very interesting itself. I'm trying to find what I'm talking about. Hang on one second. Yeah. I'm surprised it's not on the home page. I am on the right brand, yes? Let's see. Okay. I'm sure it would come up if I think this is the this is it right here. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about right here. They have this exterior device that'll help you regulate the movement. Very, very interesting stuff, right? Self-regulating technology. It doesn't adjust in several different positions. It's only in one position. It's not for knowing if your watch is magnetized. I'm trying to remember the questions that I asked. And it only works on the plus or minus. It doesn't work on the other, like, other stuff that may be going on with your watch itself. But still very interesting stuff. Still very interesting stuff. Let me catch up on chat, and then we'll continue to scroll down the line. I mean, look, there's 100 and something brands, so we may even have to do a part 2 of this. What are you guys saying on the chat? Let me sure nothing was directed towards me. I got to bring up Brew again because I want to show you guys the watch that he picked up as well. Guys are chatting amongst yourself, I believe. I would have loved to seen Handhard too, Jose. That they're one of the ones that got away as well from me. I unfortunately, and I specifically, because JP, the owner of Noctua Watches, he recently put a Handhard in his collection, so I was rather intrigued to see more about them. But what are you gonna do? So, cook for you, bro. So we could do a. Hold on, I got to get the context of that. But yeah, I wish I saw a Handhard for sure. You guys are talking amongst yourself. That's cool. All right, so let me keep flowing because I think you guys are adapting to my rant. That's what's happening. That's cool. Who else did I wish I saw over there? I mean, there's a whole bunch. You guys saw the content that I produced, so you know who I got and who I didn't get. Cool was cool to see at the actual show. You guys know Long Island Watch is carrying his watches. Also at the Windup shop, you can snag or see in person, right? Like, I think there's a lot of people that want to see their watches in person after seeing a bunch of review videos. Specifically, the sombrero impressed a lot of people. Kieran said that he enjoyed it and said that this was his favorite one. I think he's a dress watch kind of guy too, and they actually have a bunch of models for the dress watch. And I think he's right, man. I think the quality, the refinement, they're the brand to watch for sure as a category. And if you're in Brooklyn, go to the Windup shop. You could get hands-on with it and decide right then and there if you want to. I think, like I said, Island Watch is also producing accessibility to the brand as well. I don't think he didn't. Well, I know he doesn't have a physical location where you can try the watches on. So that's why I recommended the Windup shop. Who else? Maurice Lacroix, you guys know I was able to get them. Shout out to Blake from Lonely Wrist for putting me on. I stopped to talk to. I had a conversation with Monta, man. Who's a fan of Monta? I had a conversation with Monta. Great guy. Great guy. And I'll tell you what, man, these are not just, a lot of people just feel like they're homage to obviously you know what, but they're not. The quality is phenomenal. There's a lot of fine tuning that they did. They recently came up with their Triumph. Random Rob did a video on that. So if you guys want to see what that looks like in hand from a watch reviewer, so to speak, you can go to his channel and check that out too. But yeah, man, made a connection here. And he said that he's more than happy to send me a watch. This is the Triumph. They redid this. Phenomenal refinement, really good quality. Just like in the devil's in the detail to the bracelet and the watch itself. They do a really good job here. And I'll tell you what, man, here's my hot take. I'll do a super hot take. Don't take this offensively if you own a Rolex and you're into heritage and you're into a super refined movement. I get it. If that's not your cup of tea, but you do like the Submariner look, I can't think of a better suggestion. And my hot take is this. I do think that those watches should cost ballpark around this price. Like, I'm okay with a Rolex Submariner being a $3,000 watch even. If you want to put $500 in your pocket and call it a day, or even $3,500, like the Rolex Submariner it shouldn't be 10 grand. And if you feel differently, I respect that, but I'm sorry. It shouldn't be $10,000 hairs. But it is because they're not marketing for me, and they're not marketing for anybody who agrees with that sentiment. They're marketing people that live a life of prestige and live that kind of lifestyle. And I respect it and I understand it. Listen, one of my closest friends, he owns a whole business. Yes. So I understand that world. He goes golfing. He does a lot of business on the golf course and everything else. So, and he's a phenomenal human being. Like he's one of my best friends in the whole entire world. And I love and respect him. So I understand. I'm not just saying this to like play politician. I'm saying this because I have real life experience. And he's even told me with his weddings and everything else, he's like, dude, it's in the lifestyle. So if your lifestyle fits it, that's fine. But if you are the working man, blue collar, and you're looking for something, I mean, guys, these videos do it justice, but in person, it's just so crispy. It's so crispy. And I'm not a big fan of the whatchamacallit. I'm not a big fan of the Mercedes hands, so I'm really happy that they did this style for it. And went with a very bold hand style altogether. That I think they did a phenomenal job with all their watches, honestly, just getting hands on. So if you get a chance to see them at any of the shows, I definitely recommend to pull up to the table for sure. Nomadic, did we get Nomadic in the video? I believe we did. I believe I got Nomadic. They recently came out with a chronograph that I want to put you guys onto. It's right here on the landing page. Take a look at this, man. Nomadic is really trying to step outside of different things that they've already achieved. That chronograph is definitely worth the look. So if you get a chance, check that out from Nomadic. Who else? Who else did I experience? You guys saw me talk to Oris, Papar. Pauline makes phenomenal watches, but I went over that with Teo at the Windup shop. We took a look at one of their newest models, so we're not going to get into that again. Who else can I put you guys on game that I actually spoke to? I'm mad that I didn't go to the Squale table, bro. How do you wear a whole Squale and don't parlay at the Squale table? Like, that's just weird. But I guess, you know what? 1521, you know what I mean? So I already know what the deal is to some degree, but it still would have been nice to take a peek and everything else. By the way, if anybody knows where I can get a bracelet for the 1521 Oceanic, holla at your boy. I'm very happy. Where's my Squale? I'm very happy with the strap, the FKM strap that I put on here. This was an AliExpress special. And look, I'll show you something. I test a lot of things because I want to be able to speak from experience when I talk to you guys. And so there's a lot of things in the back burner that you guys don't know that I'm doing. So this is from Strap Habit. I don't know if you could see. Hang on. That's from Strap Habit, right? It's the deployment class on a FKM. Phenomenal. Really, really good, really clean. Here's an AliExpress special. Okay? No name. A fraction of the cost, I think it was. I don't remember the price, but it was definitely like a third. It's not an FKM. It's a rubber strap, but it's still very supple, still very soft. The Strap Habit's way better. Sometimes this gets jammed up when I push the deployments. It doesn't want to go. In fact, it just did that just now. It is a little rough finishing on the inside of the bracelet here that touches against your actual skin. This is well finished altogether. I don't feel this at all. Now, I have a Drem roll, so I can correct that, but I don't expect you to buy a strap and correct that. You know, I like to save you guys money when I can by giving you certain suggestions, but here are two straps that have the same deployment. But if you are in the market for getting something for your watch like I did for my SKX, you got to go with Strap Habit. This is kind of rough. It gets the job done. I'm not mad at it. On a mesh, this is phenomenal. But you know what? You know what's happening? I didn't buy anything at Windup because I really feel blessed with what I have at the end of the day, and I just want to enjoy my collection. I was right there with getting the Jack Mason Dr. Pepper. His new Pilot watch was fantastic. But guys, I'll tell you what, I spent more money, and I live in New York, but I spent more money. Like Friday's parking was $100. I did drinks, I did dinner, I did this, and I did that. I'll be very real with you guys. Like, it just didn't feel right to spend more money. And I could have still did snackers, right? Ferris Wit has a mixtape, right? That almost everybody grabs as a souvenir. I could have done that. But yo, at the same time, like, I am kind of glad I didn't get something because I have a good collection, and I kind of want to lean into it for the rest of the year and just digest and do things like get different straps. So if anybody knows a good place to get a Squale 1521 bracelet, holla at me. Let me know. As I said, I have the Boulevard strap coming in as well, bracelet. So I'm going to let you guys know how that goes. But yeah, I'm just enjoying what I have right now at the moment. But the next watch is probably going to be the Jack Mason Dr. Pepper white dial for sure. So Peter, if you're listening to this, my bad, bro. I was supposed to get that watch, but when it don't feel right, it don't feel right. And I'm not that it doesn't feel right to get. I'm going to get that watch. It just wasn't the right time for me. You know, what are we talking about? I've heard that before. This is my last. It's not my last watch. No, it's not my last watch. That's not what I'm saying. Oscar, your name's coming up as a different name. I'm not saying that for sure, dude. I have to get the Accutron. I'm getting a Dr. Pepper. There's definitely other watches, man. There's definitely other watches. Oh, we're gonna talk about the jump hour from Traska. got a little bit of information on that as well. I'm definitely getting that jump hour if it is produced. We'll talk about that. It's not my last watch for sure, dude. It's just not the right season for me to buy. And I'm kind of like enjoying that moment of clarity and peace because it's not going to last forever. I know this. And look, if I'm being real with you, I have a Vario watch that's coming. He's sending me his chronograph. You know, it's easier for me to say that as a watch reviewer because I can get access to almost any watch as a borrow. I can go to the Windup shop. It's in my backyard. I have brands that support the channel and send me a watch sometimes to keep. So to keep it real with you, like it's a lot easier for me to say that. But even if that wasn't happening, because I haven't been reaching out to brands to do reviews, but at the same time, Vario reached out to me and he said, do you want to take a look at this chronograph? And he supported the channel from very, very, very early on. So I'm like, yeah, dude, absolutely. I got you. So we're going to take a look at his chronograph tachymeter that he just redid for the Empire, which is fantastic. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, actually. But to my point, just to finish off, man, I'm in a spot where like I'm just enjoying what I have at the moment. So this is the watch that I'm talking about. I went for this one. Art Deco design. Just, oh man, he on top of everything that I said about him supporting the channel and being a phenomenal human being, right? But he just makes great watches. And guys, I can't recommend a brand. Again, going back to that notion of if you're new to watch collecting, like the price point is great. This is a quartz movement, right? To be fair, but still, man, just look how beautiful. And you can't, this does nothing. This does nothing. Look at the Watching James video that he just produced because it's actually this model too. I guess great minds think alike because this is the one I wanted to see. This is the VK64 quartz movement. He just redid this model. I don't know if can you buy it? Add to cart? I guess you can. He just redid this model, and I think he did a phenomenal job as usual. I think he added the tachymeter on there. I'm not sure if it was on there before. This is a better picture. This is a better depiction. But again, watch the Watching James last review. That's nice. If you like a vintage inspired watch, but like all clean, you know, there's nothing here that's like, look, I'm sure this looks like some watch somewhere down the road, right? But what I'm saying is it doesn't jump out to me to be a homage of a different watch. And it's just so clean, sleek, beautiful, inspiring, Art Deco. Nice case back to also lean into that Empire State Building or you know, Empire notion. Just this is super, super clean. And I'll tell you what, you could pick up anything on the lineup from his watches. All of these straps are super supple and fantastic. That's one thing. On top of what he does very well for because his watches are phenomenal. We've got the solar watch that he just did, right? We've got the what do you call it? This is the pilot watch that he did as well. He has a trench watch that looks also the same way. It looks like a pocket watch. It actually has wired lugs. This strap is really cool too. This is a fold over. So these are fixed lugs. So this is actually like a clip. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you have any fixed lugs, you can go this route as well. There we go. So this is a fixed lug and the strap is a clip that goes right over it. Super dope, man. Super dope. Started off as a strap company, so it makes sense, right? But just really, really nice. Really, really nice. And he has, like I said, he has a trench watch that is also, it has a sub-dial second. You guys know this watch that I showed you for the solar. Price point is the price point. He's one of the brands that I'd say run over to immediately if you're new to watch collecting or you want something that's a little different. You guys seen me do the single hand. You guys seen him do the reverso. He did like a tank reversal where the watch actually flips over. Super dope. Super dope. We gotta get Trap a Rolex Milkhouse. Now we gotta get Trap what does he want? It's a dive watch. Wait a minute. Rocky Balboa. I'm getting closer. Panerai. Woo! Panerai. We gotta get him a Panerai. That's what he likes. Did Thorn ever reply back to you about testing the watch? No, they never got back to me. Thorn never got back to me. They're on my radar too. Look, moving forward in 2026, just so you guys know, I'm going to put a heavier emphasis on micro brands, independent brands, web-based brands. I haven't said that word in a minute. I'm going to be putting a heavy emphasis on that. I'm still going to do affordable brands. Like Thorn is fantastic because it's all titanium and there's a lot of things that I would want to look into, but it has to be something like that. If it's an affordable brand, you guys just saw me do the Bowdary, which is full titanium, and that was the reason why. Plus, it was an interesting spin on the A11, just like I showed you with that Vario. Like I just did the review for this watch. Hold on, lighting. And then it's a snacker. It's a snacker. So I'm always gonna have that in the mix for sure. Not gonna stray away. But I'll tell you what, man, my biggest interest, my biggest fascination is those two things, micro brands, independent brands for sure, man. They're getting better and better in a good way, in a very good way. It's incredible. But no, Thor never got back to me, unfortunately. JLC Ultra Thin. I need that. You need a lot of things, my friend. You need a lot of things. Let me catch up on chat. What are you guys saying? Clarity, peace. Who is this guy? Buddha. So I guess you're making up for lost time, right? I didn't do enough. Plus a 30% off. Plus a 30% off. Okay, let me see. Citizen. Any cool on future releases at the fair? So I guess this is a good time for me to go into with that question for, like I said, Traska. So I got some information on that. Let's go in. Let me pull it up so you guys can see which one I'm talking about. They are in alphabetical order. So Traska will be at the bottom. Oh, we were almost almost there. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I was headed to. You guys saw me talk to Stella. Stella, yo. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting Stella watches. Stella, she's so adorable too, and I believe it was her husband. Just great people. Another New York brand, so you know how I'm gonna represent. But not just because they're a New York brand. She makes real like. How do I say this in a nice way? She needs to put herself out there more. Both of them. They need to put this watch out there. I actually told them to get in contact with the Windup shop, and I'm like, yo, put your watches in the shop. People need to see what you're doing. You're not shouting loud enough. I'll do my best, to help whatever my small. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, it's not the size. It's the quality of people, man. You guys are fantastic. But she needs to put it out there. Stella! Who knows the reference? She needs to put it out there, man. Fantastic watches. Oh my. Matter of fact, we got to pull that up just because. I know I showed you the video. I know. I'm getting off track. You wanted to see what the update is. I'm going to give you the update on Trashka. I'm not going to forget. But yeah, these are phenomenal linen dials, man. And there's so much to the story. I hope you guys could hear her in the interview. But oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. It's just so nice, man. I don't know. I guess it's the style. That she's put into these dials that just really emphasize the watch altogether. It's got some GMTs. Like it just, right? Like it does something. It does something. It's exciting. It kind of gives me that same effect in the dial that Strum gives, if you will. But great people, man. If you have the chance to have a conversation with them, make sure you have it. It's worth it. And their watches are phenomenal. All right, going back and not to get sidetracked. You guys know all about Studio Underdog. We're not going to go there, but we will go to Traska, like I said. So you guys saw this watch from the Teddy Baldazar video. Let me see if I remember how to navigate this. Hang on. I got to do this. So it's the jump hour, man. The jump hour is what jumped out at me. I think it's in Explorer, and then it's in Journal. No? Yes? No. No? No, not in Journal. Hold on, Explore. It is in History, About, Journal, Reviews, Collection. I don't think it was here. No, it's not part of their collection yet. I'm sorry. Hang on, guys. Bear with me, please. Explore, About. I think it's in About. Is it? Oh, man. Eventually we'll get to it. Explore. Imagine it's not an Explore, About, History, Collection, Newsletter. It's got to be there. No. Oh my. Come on, man. Where is this jump hour? Explore. You guys are probably saying it in chat like, dude, look at chat. We found it for you already. And I knew where it was too. Reviews? I don't know. It's not exactly like something they're putting out there like that right now, but I got hands-on with the watch. Golly, is it not in support, right? No, it wasn't in support. It was in Explore for sure. History, newsletter, journal. Journal? I feel like I was there already. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold up. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so I got hands-on with this watch, and the first thing I put it on wrist. So on a 7.25 inch wrist, it was fantastic. It was phenomenal, and I expect it to be because it has refined measurements for sure. It's been living rent-free in my mind. So I made a beeline and I elbowed a couple people to get into this watch because I didn't care. Um, I'm nicknaming this the Snowman, right? Flip it upside down. Uh, I was very, very excited about this watch. Unfortunately, they told me that as of right now, it's still in the development stage, meaning the mechanism that they're using for the jump hour hasn't been perfected. And of course, they're not going to release something that hasn't been perfected yet. That being said, and what that means is they're still working to see if it's going to be a thing. I think that they said they were a couple of weeks away of finding out. So we'll know more maybe in a week or two, maybe three. But there are different colorways that they have set in motion. And that was my biggest thing that I wanted to hopefully get because it's a little monochrome the way it is now. But the big dial here also comes in a salmon and I believe a white. Hey, beautiful. So there are other colorways that are set for this watch, and it's bittersweet, man. I'm crossing my fingers here. I really hope that they're able to actually produce that watch because it's been living rent-free in my mind. And as far as entertaining watches and having different things as well, I'm checking if my mics are really low, guys, so I'm gonna have to go soon. Otherwise, the sound's gonna get cut off. I'll end off saying this, man. Like he told me that they don't know 100% if it's going to happen. So we'll know more. Sign up to the newsletter. Send me links if you find out before I do. I hope it does, man. And they're trying to make it work. It was the mechanism inside. That's all I have to say. And they did have different colorways because a lot of people felt like it needed some more colors. So let me catch up on chat, and then we're going to land this plane because my mics are low and I'm going to get cut off anyway. Tresca as a word just bothers me. Hey, you know what, Ben? Can you guys hear me? I had to switch over to the laptop. Yeah, I think you can hear me. Sorry about that. So the sound is going to be a little less quality right now. I called it. I was on the money. I said that I have to go before the mic goes out. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't get so caught up on. I've heard that before, but for me, it's like, let me see the watch. You know what I mean? If the watch is nice, I can excuse a Tandorio name, if you will. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. I'm numb to it. A watch is a watch. Yeah, thank you guys. Oh, it's clear. Maybe is it better or worse than my mic that I actually use while we're on that subject? And let me catch up on chat. But yeah, that is it. That is, I don't know. Traska doesn't bother me. Traska sounds like a watch brand to me. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, they were at the show too. I know. Dude, they were mobbed. There was no shot. There was no shot of me getting to that table. I'll tell you when. No shot. Even the Timex, because it reminds me, that name reminds me of the Timex. I really wanted to see that watch because you guys know my boy Tyree. What's his channel name? Tyree is Unwound. Wrist Unwound. Tell me how the wife comes in with the assist like this. Ooh. Wrist Unwound. Tyree, Timex guy, the guru, the goat of Timex. If you like Timex and you want to know all things, that's the guy you got to talk to. I tried to see the new watch from Timex. They actually had a panel talking about that watch as well. I missed the father of G-Shock too. I wish I would have saw him he was signing G-Shocks. Oh man, I didn't get a chance. I was running around. I'm gonna pick up the watch right now for your birthday. I do it. M1 or 2 is sweet. Yeah. Let me see what you guys were saying. Ba, ba, ba. I think you guys were talking amongst you. Got to see Skylar. We got to get Skylar a Rolex too. Once he do, I think you might turn into a. He said with the turtlenecks. I'm already halfway there. I'm business casual when I go on these lives. Listen, I'm not. I'm not against it at all. Listen, I think my approach to Rolex would be if I said at one point I want to go that way, it would be vintage, man. I think I'd be good with like a vintage. Um, I don't know, man. It doesn't even matter to me, really. But I think that I would go vintage on Rolex if I was gonna go there. Because listen, it's a phenomenal brand. It really is. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, I was there. Let me see what you guys said at the bottom. No, I didn't see their booth, unfortunately. In fact, you know what? Let's pull them up real quick because I don't even recall. I feel like it's one of those brands where it's like I don't remember what the watches look like, but when I see it, I probably will. Well, before we do that, I gotta talk about Ver. I went to the table. I had a phenomenal conversation. I was so scheduled to talk to Ver, and the reason why I'm going the extra mile to talk about them even on while before we end is because I mean, like I'm thinking about how it was when I was with my brother, and I told him he's got to take a look at the table to see if he liked anything because the price point is the price point for them. They have phenomenal price points, but more so than that, they have really great watches. I featured them on the channel before, so it's not like we didn't have a conversation about them. This one steals my heart with the orange. I guess it's because of the Doxa, right? That kind of makes sense. But chronograph and a different spin, a different feel. The cream dial is also fire too. Not for nothing. Like I like that little splash of orange on there for focal point for this half sub dial in the second hand at the bottom. Fantastic. And they were also featuring their new watch as well. And you know they're super cool, man. They sent me an email. They were like the only brand. Ver was the only brand that actually sent me an email at the end, um, after the fact, after the show, and was like, "Yo, it was great chatting with you and everything else." And to which I had to apologize, like, dude, I really meant to get you on camera, and you know this to be true because I didn't even get Brew on camera, right? And you guys know how much I bring up Brew, but his table was mobbed, and the thing was, is like I don't. Could I squeeze my way in and wave and get his attention? Yeah, but he's talking to people that could potentially be part of the family moving forward. So I didn't want to interrupt that. You know what I mean? But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out one way or another with Ver and anyone else who's interested. I sent them an email. I said, look, when the timing's right, if you want me to showcase one of your watches, you know, I'm pulling up the website. We do things like this as well. But for sure, if he wants to send me something, I'll take a look at it. Whether it's a loaner or a keeper, you know, I don't limit myself to either or. Because that's not right to you guys. But I think that from a price point from like mid 200s to all the way up to $1,000, I think that they have quite a selection from everybody who's starting to collect that is a little apprehensive of spending too much. This is really nice. All the way up to somebody who's looking for more in the watch where they want, you know, a Swiss movement or something like that. So I thought that they are very versatile for sure. And Ver is one of the brands that I would heavily suggest to a new watch collector. And I brought my brother over to the table for him to take a look at them as well. So this was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this Solar watch was their newest. Yeah, I think this was it. I could tell from the indexes and everything else. So this was their newer watch too. So take a look at them. I'm sure somebody covered them as well. But super cool to see a lot of the micro brands now diving into the solar powered watches. I thought that was really, really good. Oh, I did also tell you that I was going to show you. Let's see if I could bring it up. Here it is. And all watches. So just real quick, I showed you guys in the video too, but I finessed my brother into grabbing this one from Brew. Fantastic. He's part of the family now. I just love the metric line for sure. You guys know he came out with the New York edition. So here's the New York edition. I think he's sold out of these things already. Oh wait, yeah, New York edition for him. He's just doing phenomenal, and I wish him all the best. So I think we were pretty much up to par. We got all the way pretty much to the end. Oh, somebody mentioned Micro Milspec, phenomenal guy, phenomenal guy. I featured him on the video, so we don't need to pull that up. There was Mr. Jones. There's a lot, so maybe we'll do a part 2 to this because I do have to peel off. Oh, you were mentioning them. I don't know how to pronounce this. Yeah, we've definitely taken a look at this brand before, I believe. I got to look into it more. Okay, I see the price point. I see the dial play. More of like a Gata style watch. I'm not mad at it. That's what's on the landing page. Let's see. This is an automatic and it shows a lightning bolt. So maybe it's some kind of not sure what that means. Let's see. Automatic. Jules automatic. Okay, so it's an automatic watch. Yeah, no, I didn't see them. I didn't go to their booth, unfortunately. Specifications. Okay, so that's for the magnetic resistance. Got it. But a bird's eye view. I mean, this is just a flash in the pan. I could see people being interested in this for sure. This is definitely like a particular vibe for those who like that kind of simple but interesting at the same time Gata style. The dial is very interesting here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Let me look at the specs on this. We're talking about almost $700. Specifications: Miyota 9000 series. That's fine. Super Luminova 316L, 100 meters, which is fine for a Gata. The magnetic resistance, I think that's probably what's their little slice of life, if you will, into it. Anti fingerprint coating. I've never heard of that. That's something a little interesting. That I'm not going to say gimmicky, but I'm going to say that I would have to test this out. But interesting, very interesting. I would like to learn more for sure. Thank you for mentioning them as well. And I probably skipped over a lot in between in this list, but I'm so glad I mentioned Ver. Ren was there, Yema, you guys know them, William Wood, everything. Viraj is a great guy. So yeah, that's it. Strum, you guys saw me go to the yeah, guys. That's it. That's all I had, man. All in all, I had a fantastic time at Windup for sure, as I mentioned before. And I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the things that I am staying in the mix again. What's their name? I told you I have the Vario coming. Phoebus, we have another Phoebus. It's going to be a big boy too. Guys, big boys are in. Big boys are in. I don't think they ever went out of style. I think the conversation was that smaller watches were taking over, which is not correct. I think that they're just getting more welcomed and introduced. I think guys are getting comfortable with a 36 to a 38. For me, actually, a 38, 39 is a Goldilocks. I think I'm liking that very, very much for sure. So that size in particular. But I always have room. The BLP Boulevard Lunar Pilot is a big boy. I showed you the King Seiko. That's a big boy. So it comes down to what I'm in the mood for as well. But I'm definitely accepting the 39 and 38 of the world as well, for sure. So let me see what you guys are saying, and then we're going to peel off. I do appreciate everybody who joined me. The links are in the description for the Windup page that we were on for the fair and for the shop as well. I appreciate you guys giving me the support for 38 to 44. Yeah. I think you're on the money. 36 is a little 38 to 44. 44? What's a 44? Yeah, this is damn near 45. Yeah, and at that point it matters more lug to lug, which Seiko did an incredible job with the King Turtle for the lug to lug, so something like that. The Arnie, right? The Arnie you think is going to be a really, really big watch, and it ends up being very comfortable for that reason, oddly enough. So yeah, you're right on the money, Wristful. 38 to 44. I need anything. Okay. Yeah. Look at that, max of 48. Yeah, the lug to lug. See, the BLP, I'll be honest with you, and I'm hoping maybe the bracelet will kind of smooth things over. But the BLP is I think it's a 50, maybe 50 and change. It's pushing it. I want to be at 48, 49, 50, 50. I have to try it on. Because here's the thing about lug to lug that you also have to mention. You can have a 50 that fits better than a 48 lug to lug. And it depends on how much the brand curves that end piece downward, right? What's the angle on the lug to lug too? So that's another thing that, we need to mention. Maybe we need to get nerdier and find out what the degree of angle is necessary to pull that off. But I think that's a thing as well. You guys saw yes, I saw the Zelos new drop. They always home runs. They're always home runs. They're always going to sell out. It's really phenomenal. It's crazy. It's really crazy actually how much he sells out. What were you saying about the brand? No, I saw something else you said. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you joining in. The Series 2 had dials made of specks of heated steel. See, that's why I got to learn more about it. Thank you, Matt. I'm going to do more homework. So that list that Windup has, that's going to be my reference point to learning more information and going off of that. Again, like I said, I want to heavily focus on micro brands. So I definitely want to use that as a point of reference because chances are not everybody, but most people who are at that show are going to want to return for next year. So as I did the live stream, you guys saw me go to brands that I was mostly comfortable with. And I think that that's what you guys enjoyed the most because it flowed and the energy was there. Plus, if the brand is busy with people, but there's still room, I could still grab a watch. And because of my education on the brand overall and on the watch and what they're trying to do, because look, I don't want it to just be about the watch specifically. I want to talk to you guys about what the brand positioning is, how they're positioned in the market, how they're positioned in their offerings, their design, what they're trying to achieve, how they're trying to connect. Like I want to bring it outside of just a spec on a watch, right? Design is great. That's always going to impress us. But I think that the reason why I bring up Brew so much is because I'm fully immersed in the culture of them and what the brand is trying to represent. And he does a great way of making those connections by putting on pop-up shops and shows and everything else. So it's things of that nature, man. Erebus had a dinner during Windup as well. They're great at connecting. I missed the dinner, unfortunately, but it's things like that. All right, guys, we're going to peel off here. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry if I didn't get you on chat. I'm kind of like in a ranting kind of mode, but I do appreciate everybody who hung on to the very end. This was a lot of fun. We will maybe revisit this. Maybe this is worth me revisiting and seeing the brands that I didn't talk about. But if you didn't take anything, take this. I had a great time. Windup was phenomenal. They did a great job. If you have the chance, if you missed out, if you were on the fence and you didn't go to the show this year, I definitely recommend going that next year. If you're looking for something remotely in the area as well, the Philly Watch Fair is going to be doing a very nice show, I think, next year. They were getting their feet wet with the first 2 years. There's a lot of things, man. And that's how I get the perspective, right? I've been to the Philly show for their first year, and I saw what it takes. I talked to the person who orchestrated. I know more the behind the scenes that I'm not going to share, but I can tell you that there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's not easy. But they have a phenomenal place that they're putting on. It's almost like an art gallery, like not an art gallery, but like a museum type of feel. It's going to be really, really nice. So next year, September, they're going to be doing their third show, and that's something to look out for. So if you didn't attend a show this year and you're remotely in the area or you have the means to visit, definitely go, man. It's electric for sure. For sure, you need to stop. Yeah, Jose, for sure. If you stop by, also hit me up, bro. I would love to meet you in person. Anyway, guys, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy the content that I put out for Windup. Hit the hype, like, subscribe, share, all the things, ding the notification bell, and everything else. Have a fantastic weekend. I appreciate you guys, as always, for spending your most valuable asset, which is time. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Later, guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.